What's up, guys? Welcome back to the ranch. Alright, ranchers, what are we doing today? Well, it's Memorial Day weekend, it's Saturday, and my family's taking a nice summer siesta, and I'm out here with my proton pack, standing in front of some nasty invasives. This is Japanese barberry, and we've got to knock this back. This is the first thing that greens up, last thing to die out. It's totally invasive and spreads like wildfire. I cut a bunch of trees and got some nice sunlight down, and what did I get? An explosion of invasives. And that's kind of common. In fact, most people suggest handling your invasives before you open up the light canopy. Oops, well, didn't work out for me that way. So here I am, while the family's doing a summer siesta. I'm out in the woods, I got my proton pack sprayer, and I'm gonna hit some of this Japanese barberry with some glyphosate 2,4-D combo, and I'm gonna knock this down. I'm gonna knock it back and let this die out. So you're saying, well, this is pretty green. What's the big deal? Well, it spreads like wildfire. It's got thorns like crazy. Deer don't eat it. So by the deer not eating it, it's kind of wasteful. The other thing is, you don't want a monoculture. And monoculture means one thing growing in your woods. And that's what happens really quick with this Japanese barberry. So I'm gonna get out here and spray it. Now you can hack it down to its base and spray the base and do that. But I'm gonna kind of just spray over the top and let a lot of this die back, but keep some of its structure. Now, I know I got a lot of work ahead of me. This is not going to be a one Saturday Memorial Day weekend spraying and this is all going to go away. These Japanese barberry make seeds that birds absolutely love. And what happens? The birds fiesta, while my family siesta, on these berries. Well, not now, kind of in the fall when they grow these nice little teardrop, tiny little berries. And they poop the seed out of those berries everywhere. And this thing grows vigorously. Now, you might say, I feel like I've heard of Japanese barberry. You probably have. Most garden centers tell you to plant this in your landscape around your house in suburbia. It's a beautiful red bush, and that is true. That's this same terrible thing I'm looking at back here. What happens is, for some reason, you plant it, you buy it from that store nursery, and it's red, makes some white flowers, it's kind of pretty. But when those flowers make berries at the end of the year and the birds fly off, it lands in my woods, turns into this green monoculture mess that deer don't want to eat, deer don't want to use because it's got terrible thorns, and it takes over, and then there's no food. Yes, this provides some structure, which is why I'm going to kind of selectively spray some of this out today, because it's the summer already, and I know I'm not going to be able to handle all this all at once. So we're just going to get to some spraying some of this and knock some of it back in some areas that I'd like to see it removed from. But I'm going to let it stay as structure temporarily in some other areas. This is just some management I'm doing today. But yes, the idea is that you want to consistently hammer this and get this out of your woods. All right, let's dive in and take a look at what this might look like up close. So this is it. The Japanese barberry. It makes little flowers and it has these terrible spines. Let's see. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Let's see if I get that to focus. Right there, right there. Let's see. Can you focus? Look at that terrible spine. Look at that thing. Ouch, 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 ouch. Full of spines. Nothing wants to walk through this. Nothing wants to move into this. Look how thick this is. Another thing is, for some reason, this bush is a major harbinger for ticks. For some reason, ticks love Japanese barberry. They say it might be related to the small mice and field animals that like to nest below this, but in any case, there's some crazy stat, don't quote me if I'm a little off on it, that like 40% more ticks in places with this Japanese barberry. And I want to knock some of this back. It's got these crazy green leaf characteristics. In the fall, these turn bright red like fire. After everything else has turned brown and died off, this will stay green and then finally turn red and bright. And then in the spring, this will be your first thing that greens out. This is why it's so invasive. It grows every which way. If you take one of these ends and it flops over, and ow, the spines are terrible, and flops over in the dirt, it literally will take root from where this touches the ground and make more plants spin off that way. And they start off nice and small like this, you know, like just this little thing. But you got to get rid of it. And if you could pull it out, that's pretty good. Fire is a great way to get rid of this. But in New York, we cannot fire it. So, well, we cannot burn it. Fire it is kind of a weird way to say that, but you know what I mean. So we're going to get out here and we're going to spray some of this. Oh, another quick thing. If you snap it, it's always very yellow inside. But yeah, it's very yellow. And in the fall, it's even seems to be more yellow when you snap these branches, and that's a clear indicator that this is like a Japanese barberry when you break the sticks and it's yellow like that. All right, let's get to spraying. As always, gloves, glasses, mask, safety equipment. Do not get this spray stuff on you. Now I'm coming in here and I'm just trying to knock some of this back. I am not going to get rid of all this in this one quick pass that I'm doing, but I'm trying to open up a few deer trails here to try to allow for the deer to travel through here better. And this is going to have to be a consistent spraying that I do for a few summers probably to really knock this back. This has really come in a ton with the canopy opening I did. Oh, well, there's some rose, multifloral rose that I'm killing as well, but it's okay. We can get rid of that too. And I'm going to come in here and really try to spray some of this with a little bit of this glyphosate 2,4-D combo. And glyphosate works by landing on the leaves and being absorbed into the leaves, taking it down into the plant structure and killing it that way. Once this hits the dirt, it is dead. Or is it? Because I added a little bit of 2,4-D, like 1 pint per acre, and essentially I created a ground clear. I just want to get rid of a lot of this in this area. I want the deer to travel through here as best as possible. I'm hoping to get some natives to come back in this area. I want to open up this whole area a little bit more than it is to allow for some deer travel. So I'm coming through here on a potential deer trail that I want them to travel on. I'm spraying this back as to let it kind of die out, at least so I can come back here in the fall and seed this trail, maybe rake it out a little bit and get some rye and clover in here growing to promote some of the deer to walk through here. Now I know this one spraying is not going to kill this and take care of my problem. This is going to take a lot of summers, a lot of on top of spraying to really knock back this barberry. There are billions of seed in the ground soil that are just dying to start growing. But at least if I can start to knock this back and take care of what's here, it might not generate a lot of seeds this year and die off and leave a little bit of structure here for the deer to take part in. And let me get in here and seed with that rye and clover. Invasives can become a very long time, tedious process to get rid of. And sometimes just eradicating all is a good thing. But in this case, I'm leaving them a little bit of structure off the root of these, the travel route I should say, just so they're not feeling like they're wide open in my woods. But at least I'm going to be knocking it back enough that in this travel road I'll be able to come in here and throw some seed down. Oh man, I may have just sprayed the camera. But yeah, this is all stuff I want to get rid of. This terrible, thorny Japanese barberry. I mean, it is exploding since I cut some trees to get the canopy down in here. And I need to at least knock this back a bunch. And any sort of the ground that I can open up, I will come back in and seed, like I said. But this is terribly coming back. Small little shoots like this, it's even best to just yank them out and get rid of them. The problem with barberry is if I just throw it here on the ground and let it touch the soil, it may just take root and take off. So you really have to take this out and get rid of it. Maybe take it with you, maybe bring it home and burn it or something. But yeah, you got to make sure that this doesn't just land right back on the soil and get get soil contact, because it'll take root right from here if it's touching the soil and gets rained on, and it'll just bounce back up. This stuff is really tough to get rid of. Oh, that's so much better. Alright guys, that's a little tour of Japanese barberry. You can see behind me that whole section in front of my deer stand. By about, I don't know, 15 yards I cleared out. Whole section. And I got a little bit of clover going in there, a little bit of rye, a little bit of chicory. Yeah, there's a lot of thorns coming up, but totally handling some of the invasives that I let sprout up with the sunlight that I opened up. And that's something you have to consider when you open up the canopy, is invasives. If I could again, fire would be a great solution to burn this whole area. My area in New York does not allow for that. Makes it very tricky, so I'm left to spray or hand pull out some stuff like I can along the way. And that's how we're combating a little bit of the invasives this year around this stand. There are too many in this area to really get ahead of it in one spraying, in one swoop. So we're going to do this every season for a few years and hopefully get ahead of it. Like I also said, I don't want to immediately just eradicate all of it here and have no structure and then my woods look empty and opened up again. That's kind of pointless too, because they do provide a little bit of structure and cover. A little bit. So there's a little bit of a pro. So you need to knock it back a bunch. But you might want to strategically do it slowly over time and let some natives come back before you take it all out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. This is me combating some invasives with the Japanese barberry. Let me know if this is a problem for you and what you're doing. If you're doing something better than I'm doing, please let me know. This is terrible. Thanks for watching, guys.